While the choir comes back to join the band, the next little part of the program is actually going to be back here. So you can either turn your bodies to see us, or just go ahead and close your eyes and listen. Music is, you know, it's got a lot of senses involved, but if you just want to use your ears tonight and just celebrate with us, go ahead and do that.
Well, for some of you that may have already found out, Mrs. Jacobs, in all her preparation and getting the kids ready, has lost or losing your voice. So I either volunteered or I was offered up to sit in for this part. So my wife said, just stick to the script and you'll be fine. So I'm going to try to do that the best I can. Good evening, moms and dads, brothers and sisters, grandparents, aunts, uncles, friends, and neighbors. It's a thrill for me to present these young musicians in their first performance. We know you'll be pleasantly surprised at what they have accomplished in just a few short weeks. Learning to play an instrument takes physical and mental work, and not all are up to the task. It also takes time to practice while learning an instrument. Each of the musicians here tonight has demonstrated his or her ability and desire to play and is doing an excellent job. They're going to demonstrate what they have learned up to this point in their brief but successful musical careers. After learning how to take the instruments out of the cases and assembling them, they finally got to do what they had been wanting to do for a long time: produce the first sound on their instruments. It sounded something like this. It was obvious they had some challenges facing them. The next few days proved to be quite eventful. They all patiently worked together until they all could produce their first note. Now they sound more like this. Quite an improvement, but they seemed a little more work before they were ready for this performance. Producing that first note allowed them to proceed to the first lessons where they learned to count while they played. This is necessary to perform together. They added a different rhyme or beat to those first notes, and it began to take on a new sound. This may be more interesting than the first note, but it's still not a complete tune that you would go around whistling all day. While they worked on mastering these notes and rhythms, they tried to find ways to make music more interesting. The next few weeks passed, and with some time, you should have been able to start recognizing some of the songs they were practicing at home. Here's another one of the band's favorite songs, which is very appropriate for tonight. Mrs. Jacob. Mrs. Jacobs and the band will now present their last selection, Holiday Sampler. Listen carefully and you should be able to hear a few parts of well-known Christmas songs. All right, you have just witnessed the first performance of the Corpus Christi 6th grade band. What do you think?
All right, 6th grade, go ahead and go sit. As we transition, I'm gonna try, if my voice lets me. It's actually doing great right now. I've been pretty awful, as the kids can tell you. They've been laughing at me quite a bit. This year we have had our band separated into two different groups. So I've taken the woodwinds and half of the percussion and we work together. And then later on in the day, the brass and half of the percussion come in and we work together. At this point in their musical journeys, brass and woodwinds are just so different. So by the end of the year last year, we would have classes where the woodwinds would just sit and do nothing and be completely bored because we were working with the brass, or vice versa. So in order to combat that this year, we have split up. So tonight you will hear a woodwind selection, a brass selection, a percussion feature, and then they will all play together. And as we get there, I'll tell you a little bit more about it. But very first, you're gonna hear our brass players and their percussion counterparts, I suppose you could call them, in Christmas Clock. The next piece you are going to hear is actually a little out of order from your program because I told them wrong in rehearsal today and I don't want to mess them up right now. So the next thing you're going to hear is actually our woodwind class with their percussion friends doing Pachelbel's Canon in D. I'm pretty sure almost every single person in this building has heard one version of this song at some point. Couple things about the groups you just heard. I'm not going to name names because they'll get embarrassed, but we have two brand new instrumentalists in this band. They basically started instruments at the same time as the sixth graders, but they've got kind of a harder job because they're thrown in with musicians that kind of already know what they're doing. These two musicians have blown me away by the amount of success that they have had. I'm very blessed to have them in this group. Couple other things. I was joking with someone the other day. I think the next raffle we should have is actually for more band instruments. We have a bass drum back there that's kind of makeshift. It's a drum set bass drum on a stand that it does not belong on. We have a tuba because we've got a great tuba player that's new this year, but the tuba we're borrowing from another school. Same with our tenor sax down on the other end. We are borrowing that from another school. Very blessed to have the relationship that we do with schools around us, and as the band program grows, just trying to figure out where we're going to get instruments from. So if you have any hidden in an attic, in a basement, or anywhere that you're not using, we will take them gladly from you. So just let me know. next two pieces you're gonna hear, I said to the percussion, you can do whatever you want as long as it sounds like Christmas. And I sent them out of the room. And the next day I said, do whatever you want as long as it's Christmas. I don't care, you come up with it. I will help you if you want it, but it's on you. So these next two pieces, I'm very impressed with the creativity that came out, with the thought process, and the final result. So here are your percussionists. Oh my goodness. Our very last band song we're gonna do for you is actually a combined band. So we have every single person up here playing. We rehearsed it separately, and then on Monday we all got together and put it together for the first time. Put it together again today, and they're doing an excellent job. After this piece, we will have a really short intermission. Preschoolers, you are going to meet your teachers out in the lobby and line up so that you guys can show us your beautiful singing voices after the break.
Good job, preschoolers. You guys rock. If Spanish immersion kids, you're going to stay right there. But if the preschool parents could come collect your preschooler, that would be great. Just watch out for the wires, please.
The students that you see on stage right now are all of the students currently enrolled in the Spanish Immersion, Spanish Enrichment programs. And they would like to show you how talented they are in singing not only in Spanish, but also in English. Preschool parents, you can collect your kids. Fourth, for third, second. Goodbye. Go ahead. As the kindergartners and first graders come up on stage, I'll tell you a little about what they've been doing in class. Most of kindergarten and first grade is spent establishing how to keep a steady beat. That means, how do you stay with the music when it's going? How do you stay with me when we're playing? We do lots of games, lots of moving to steady beats. Tonight they're going to show you some of their steady beat work with some jingle bells. They should be doing all of their stuff together. Now, whether or not that happens, we don't know, but they're going to try their best. Our second song that we're going to do is a little silly song. We learned about the word regret in class, and we talked about some Christmas regrets that you might have. Maybe you ate one too many Christmas cookies and you regret that later. Maybe you were with your grandkids and completely forgot that you're not as young as you once were and you went ice skating. You're going to regret that tomorrow. Maybe you regret going up to decorate the roof without a spotter. Not really sure what you regret, but our second song, these little children will show you exactly what they're going to regret this holiday season. We're going to continue our program with the second graders. The second grade year is filled with a lot more singing. We take what we learned with our steady beat and we just sing. We still play instruments, we still play games, but it's a lot of singing. And this second grade class, they're going to sing loud for you. They do an excellent job. the third graders come up, I'll tell you a little bit about what they're going to do. If you glance kind of over there, we've got some students that are playing the instruments. One of my percussion boys, we need sticks for the wood blocks up here quickly. Thank you, Matthew. We've got some kids playing instruments up here. We had extensive audition processes in school, and then I lost my lists, so we had more audition processes. There were some kids that did not want an instrument part, which is fine. If you just want to sing, there is nothing wrong with that. We love your voices. We need your voices. There were some students up here that really, really, really wanted an instrument part, but if I gave everybody an instrument part, then we would have no singers. So hopefully if they didn't get a part, they will get it next year. My mom, my inspiration for everything music that I do, actually came up with this. She arranged it and put it together. So this is in dedication to her tonight. This fourth grade class is one of the highlights of my week. I absolutely adore this class. I adore every single class, I really do. But there's something about this fourth grade class, except one of them. One of them just needs, I'm kidding. This fourth grade class has a lot of talent. Anything I throw at them, they can do, which is why we're actually gonna do this song for you twice, because we also did auditions and everyone could do it. And when I handed out the 6 parts, there was a lot of sadness. So I said, all right, we'll do it twice. Your parents don't care if we do it twice. I think it'll be fun to do it twice. So we're going to do it once, go ahead and clap, and then we will switch and do it a second time. This was also arranged by my mom. She's kind of amazing, and I just have to do her stuff all the time. Way more creative than me. Over here we have some more instruments that are not very common. You don't really see them. So Peter, hold up very, very high what you're playing, please. Hold it up very high. Pick it up, hold it up. He's playing a bucket. And then Patrick and Harrison, can you pick that up really, really high? They're playing a trash can. So we have our trash can and our bucket band here for you tonight. And I totally forgot, Marta, hold it up. She's playing a broom handle. Oh, our buckets and our brooms and our trash cans.
A newborn king to see, pa-rum-pum-pum-pum.
Nice job, fourth grade. Our fifth graders are a little bit lost in the back. I don't know if you can see that. They don't know where to go. This fifth grade song is hard. Hard, hard, hard. In kindergarten, they start just with a steady beat, and then we keep layering things, and it gets progressively more difficult. In this piece, the students have to be able to do 6 things at once and not get confused. It's hard, 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 hard. And they are doing an amazing, amazing job with it. I am incredibly proud of them for this piece. We've got some instruments over on the podium once again. Each person on an instrument has their own thing they have to do. They have to be able to focus on that, keep that rhythm going, and not get distracted by everything else that's going on. Meanwhile, the singers here are split into 3 parts. So each group of singers has to be able to listen to the instrument, stay on track, listen to the singers, stay on track, while still singing their best. This is a hard, hard song, but so much fun. I've really enjoyed working this piece with the 5th graders. Same thing in this class, just so much talent. They all wanted instrument parts. And I basically said here, well, I started to say if you're in choir, you don't get an instrument part because that's 2 things. But I didn't know who was in choir, so choir people get instrument parts. So it's just who you see. We hope you enjoy this Christmas Sounds. the fifth graders join back with their class, the very last thing we want to do with you tonight is close with Silent Night. Beautiful, beautiful song, and we want to invite all of you to sing it with us. So we're going to have Mrs. Coster over on the piano. We're very, very thankful to have her. We ask you to stand as we close with Silent Night, please.
Please join me in thanking Laura Jacobs for her dedication and her gifts and talents. And thank you to Mrs. Coster for playing the piano, and also Sister Noella. So thank you very much.